Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the first adventure tonight of Pete and Jeremy's D&D Time, an adventure which I've entitled The Wonder Machine, which I'm very excited about. But before we get into it, as always, we are going to introduce our brave heroes this evening. Heroes, I guess heroism is subjective, although I think as far as parties go, this is actually one of the more heroic parties you could put together in the lands of D&D Time. Without further ado, our first stop tonight is Othgarurt Charirgix, the Lord of Bone. Othgarurt, how are you?
I am quite glad to be back on the adventuring road.
I'm overjoyed to have you back on the adventuring road. It's been a winter, a cold winter, and a lot of Bartholomew's adventurers have been enjoying a little bit of respite during this time. What have you been up to, Othgarurt?
As you have said, it has been a very cold winter, and I am a cold-blooded creature.
Is this a hard time of year for you, Othgarurt?
Very. It is a truly desperate struggle to maintain warmth and keep my food supply solid. But it's been much easier since I've moved into my...
forge, really?
Yes.
I imagine that a lot of the winter was spent keeping yourself warm by working at the very large, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, they were almost like magma forges that you have inside of that place.
It has been truly the safest place to be during snowfalls.
But things are finally starting to warm up a little bit, or at least they're not getting any colder. And people still always have work to do. Are you feeling refreshed and ready to get back out, Othgarurt?
As ready as I can be.
Yes, there is, I suppose there is no truly being ready for whatever Bartholomew has in store for you. But regardless, I wish you the best of luck in all of your endeavors this evening, Othgarurt. Welcome back.
Thank you.
Next up, we have joining us Anadoltia Bluebeads, Confectia's porcelain princess, the queen of dolls. Anadoltia, how are you this evening?
I'm doing fine. I did manage to spot a nice little gift during the solstice that Bartholomew left for me.
Really? What did Bartholomew have for you?
Well, I should state beforehand that it was a bit of a double-edged sword because first it was a some sort of fey frog, and one of the girls brought it in, and as soon as it came in, it jumped on Sugar's face. She screamed, passed out, and then it landed on my bat hat.
Well, I am sorry for the chaos. I mean, I'm sure that Bartholomew is sorry for the chaos that this has caused. But has the frog settled in at all now that you've spent some time?
Yeah, it really likes the bat hat. It just sits on the brim the whole time.
Well, that's good. I'm glad you have yourself another companion with which to spend some time. It's strange how many things just kind of teleport around in the Feywild.
Yeah, that's just an understatement.
And before we go any further, Anadoltia, did you have a nice holiday season? You and Sugar and all of the kids?
Oh yes, we did. Even though also having to supply presents for the orphanage is quite a feat in its own right. But yes,
no doubt.
Let's
no doubt. Well, I'm glad to hear that, Anadoltia, and welcome back once more to the adventuring fields.
Thank you.
And next up, we have rejoining us once more Elysia Silverblood, the Moonborn. Hello, Elysia.
Oh, hello, Pete.
Tell me, how are you, Elysia? How has your kind of winter break been?
It's been doing quite well.
What did you get up to? Anything new over at the temple, or I suppose in your new keep?
Yes, it's been going quite well. It's nice having my own keep, but I do so enjoy going down to stay with my father in his keep. The temple really is my home, I think.
But Elysia, does it feel nice just a little bit to have your own place now?
I can't deny it is very nice to have it. Yes.
It always comes with some benefits, moving out. But I know that you very much adore the Temple to Selune and are still very close with your father, no doubt. How have things been at the temple? Have you been receiving many visitors? Is this like a slower time of year for you, or do more people kind of filter into the temple during the colder seasons when there's less work to be done?
Actually, with the solstice and the longer nights, we tend to be a bit more active during this season.
Oh, of course, that makes a lot of sense. Just sheer quantity of time with moon visible, actually. I wouldn't have thought of that, but of course, natural for you, Elysia, of the House Silverblood.
Indeed, it's quite a lovely season, isn't it?
I think so as well. Well, Elysia, welcome back, and it is always a joy to have you.
Thanks for having me, Pete.
And last, and of course not least, Max, are you here?
Yes, I am here.
We have Michael Verity, the King of Order, rejoining us once more. Good evening, Michael.
Hello, Pete. It is wonderful to be here. Finally, my first adventure in the new year.
Tell me, how was your time off as well? Coming back from the winter break?
Time off was absolutely wonderful. You know, just hanging out with family, enjoying the view, the winter, the snow.
Catching up, I imagine, on some of your responsibilities as the.
Oh yes,
the
so
ruler of your kingdom.
most definitely catching up on responsibilities as king.
Because you have to, you have so much work to do in Bartholomew's shop, while also, tell me, how do you manage to juggle managing a kingdom while also adventuring so frequently in Bartholomew's Adventuring Guild, Michael?
You ask a very good question, Pete. The answer is, it's pretty complicated. It's complicated. It would be very hard to explain in the brief time I have.
I understand. I was just assuming it was your incredible willpower and the hard work that you put in.
I would, to put it briefly, maybe it's part willpower, part complex planning ahead of time.
Yes, I would imagine such coordination would absolutely require a lot of someone very good with schedules. Do you have a good schedule person underneath you in the kingdom?
Oh yes, I have someone monitoring my schedule and making changes as needed.
You have to maintain flexibility, certainly.
Yes.
Well, Michael, I'm glad that you were able to fit us in tonight.
Yes, I'm glad to serve you well tonight, Pete.
Very good. So, without further ado, let us begin where so many of our adventures have begun, in Bartholomew's shop. As you enter in, you see the familiar face of the old wizard standing and looking at you. Greetings, adventurers. Come in, please, do come in. How are all of you this afternoon?
I'm doing wonderful.
Yes, I'm glad to hear that, Michael. Othgarurt and Anadoltia, Elysia, how are all of you?
Doing wonderful, Bartholomew. Thank you for asking.
Yeah, yes, very, very positive responses. It makes me happy to hear. So I have an assignment for you if you're all ready to get back on the horse, so to speak. I would require all of you to head over to Sokotoa.
I believe I remember going there before. It shouldn't be that much of an issue.
Yes, well, certainly not the travel. I'm just going to zap you right over, as usual. But they've put together a very interesting device, from what I'm to understand. Something that probably should never have existed in the first place, but I'll let them fill you on the details. Are you all ready to depart?
Ready when the rest of my group is.
Is their speciality.
Thank you, my friend, for the bone samples.
Yes, but of course, I hope you're able to, well, I can't wait to see what you do with them. And, well, without further ado then, and Bartholomew snaps, and you find yourselves suddenly standing, not as you usually are teleported if you're being sent to this particular region, Sokotoa, but actually within what appears to be a pretty complex laboratory. You can see a number of gnomes that are sort of walking about, looking around and checking various meters. And as you teleport and appear, you can see there's a gnome that's standing kind of right outside the teleportation pad. That's been presumably just waiting for you guys to arrive. And as you pop up, just say, oh, very good. I am so thankful that you're here. Hello, everyone. You are, of course, the adventurer. Oh, no, I recognize it. Wow, Bartholomew really sprung for the big guns on this one. Othgarurt, Anadoltia, Elysia, and Michael, correct?
Yes.
Correct.
That's us.
Do you prefer to go by your titles or by your names? I don't know if it's like should I call you Moonborn or?
You may call me whatever you wish to call me in respect.
Whatever is easiest for you.
All right.
What she said.
First names it is, because that's what I have on my clipboard here. All right, I'm going to go ahead and bring you guys on over and into the into the chamber.
Are you one of the scientists we threw out last time?
And you kind of like think for some time. What was that incident? I'm not sure what I don't think that was me.
Was it the one where we threw the scientists out? We had to get rid of Lemick with.
No, I don't believe that was me. There are, the city is actually populated by 95% scientists. So, it's sometimes when it's all gnome scientists walking around, it can be, I guess, a little bit easy to confuse some of us. But no, I don't believe that was me. We haven't met before. But I have something very interesting for all of you to look at here. And that is, and he begins kind of walking you through the interior of this lab until you get to something of an observation chamber that you're kind of walking into now. You can see there's a long glass window encircling just a stark white room. And in the center of it is what looks like a very elaborate contraption. It is almost indiscernible what this thing could be from looking at it. There's just like covered, it's affixed to the floor in the center of the room, and you can see all manner of like buttons and levers and like meters on it, a lot of like appendages that just kind of like stick out of it on the sides. On the top of it, there's something that just looks like a metal pinwheel that's currently whirring, and then it stops for a little bit and then starts going again. And there are just a bunch of gnomes, all of them kind of standing around in lab coats, like looking at it, making different like calculations on machines in this waiting area. And he goes, okay, so have any of you heard anything yet about the Wonder Machine?
First time I'm hearing about it.
Well, Bartholomew did mention something along the lines of a device that never should have existed. I'm assuming this is it.
That machine that makes the very white bread?
No, well, yes, it is. Because it's a machine that, makes anything, everything. It's a machine that can do anything. It was a pretty ambitious project by one of the most renowned scientists here in the region, a gnome by the name of Reuben Goldmage. Apparently, he wanted to use it for. There are some degrees of imprecision in his breakfast orders that he wanted, so he built this machine capable of doing literally anything to make himself breakfast in the morning exactly the way that he liked it. But, he built it, and now we can't find him, and we don't really know how to deal with some of its functioning cycles. So, in a lot of ways, we have a robot here that's close to a god, but the controls are far too intricate for us to figure out how to actually make it function in a reasonable way. And it has a number of orders already queued up into it. So we wanted you to go in and clear the system.
Y'all don't have any manuals or anything for this?
Oh no, he's a very eccentric individual. He doesn't really leave a lot of manuals. I've seen him do things like combine planes to make a drift globe. Like he's a real He's a real character, and he's brilliant individual, brilliant gnome. But he's no, he doesn't explain how any of his stuff works, and we have no idea. This is far beyond, I think, just about any other gnome in Sokotoa's capabilities.
Could we not use this machine to have it find Gold Mage for us? And then he can shut it down himself.
Well, that would be great if we knew how to work the machine. We figured out one control on it, and that is the complete order. So it goes through whatever the current programming is and produces the next thing that it was told to program. We've been fiddling around with some of the dials and stuff. It seems to randomize after using it in a lot of ways. So really, currently we have about 20 orders queued up. So we kind of need you to just go and see what happens. And I'll warn you, we had more than that. And things were fine. We were going through, and they kind of point over the way, and you can see that there's a gnome there that's, unlike all the other gnomes here, their skin is a brilliant blue and red in like a swirling pattern. Some strange things happened. Marrow over there got turned blue and red, and then it exploded after one of them, and we lost we lost a gnome. And he kind of puts his head down a little bit. So some of these things, I guess, can be dangerous. If a machine can do anything, well, it can do a lot of bad stuff too. Do you guys know the Wand of Wonder?
No.
I've heard of it, but never really seen one.
Well, it pulls from a lot of the same magic that the Wand of Wonder does, and, well, best of luck. Are you up to this, do you think?
I do have one question.
Please.
You said that this thing has, like, things programmed into it. Is there any, I don't know, some sort of readable thing that shows what these programmed notions are?
There's a lot of numbers on it and a keypad entry. If you want to try and play around with it, you're welcome to, but really we just need you to make sure that there's no orders in the queue, because we don't know if it's going to do it automatically, and we'd rather, just force it in a controlled environment until it's in a neutral state.
Well, that's all I really needed to know.
But if you can figure, if you learn anything about it by interacting with it, please let us know.
For someone to have created this machine just for the purpose of breakfast and overdoing it, one would think they would make an emergency button to shut it off, but I guess not.
There might be some kind of emergency shutdown combination on there, but every time we've pressed a button, something's happened.
Interesting.
Have you tried bringing a pre-made breakfast towards it? Maybe it will stop running if there is already breakfast done.
That might work, but I don't think it will. But we can bring you a breakfast over to bring in with you as you're going to try it, if you think that's a good idea.
Yes, please. At the very least, I have not eaten today.
There it is.
What if we go with a very cheap frozen breakfast? The machine might just shut down in disgust if it makes such fine breakfasts for Gold Mage.
I do want to say something. I do not think this machine is a sentient thing with feelings.
Oh, yes, that's absolutely right. It is just running on whatever... I mean, let's be frank, this is science, but it's magic as much as it's science. He combines them both in ways that I don't fully understand. So, yeah, I'm pretty sure it's just an object at the end of the day. But it might have sensors.
If it is a machine that can do anything, then can it not feel?
Can it not love?
Well, I don't think it can inherently, but I bet you it could make itself love. Does that make sense?
If
Probably.
you teach it how to love, maybe it will shut itself off, lest it hurt anyone it loves.
Again, I mean, these are all great ideas. The problem is we just don't know how to give it any specific instructions. It's just running on random right now.
I mean,
if you can
honestly,
figure that out, please do it.
honestly, the last resort plan would be to
Actually,
just smash the thing.
Double back. This is an extremely dangerous device, and actually, if you can avoid giving this thing sentience, that's probably for the best.
Yeah, very advisable. I was going to suggest as a last resort smashing the thing, as much as I would hate to do that.
Oh, that seems also very dangerous. But we're hoping to shut it down manually. But worst comes to worst, if that doesn't pan, let's talk. We'll talk that more nuclear option there in terms of just taking care of it.
Very well.
All right, well, I'll just go ahead and head down there, and Anadoltia will just Missy steps down. Well, sorry, not Missy steps. She just tries to find a way down there.
We have there's an entry right into here. The room. Oh, here are those breakfasts that all of you ordered, and they go and kind of hand each of you just a plate of breakfast. And it's it's nothing simple. There's like a cup of coffee for each of you, as well as just some eggs and like stale muffin. It's not the best, but it's just what they had at the lab.
Yeah, Anadoltia just gives hers to Lady Molly.
Lady Molly eats it up appreciatively and greedily, I imagine. And the gnome kind of speaks to you one more time. The room is magically sealed. We have kind of a field preventing any magic from exiting the chamber, but because of the nature of the device itself, of course, if it was going to work properly, it had to be in a chamber where magic was allowed, and now it's a little tough to get anything done in here. So you won't have to worry about anything spilling out, but you will have to contend with whatever happens, at least in that space.
I see.
And he pops open the door, and the machine kind of lies beyond.
I do have a suggestion I wish to give to the other three. So, this might seem a little outlandish, but seeing as this is a device of unpredictable result, I think we should send something to test it out. Something that could be resilient. And with that, I send out my companion Sarge.
Yeah, Anadoltia says, well, let me first see about this program language in it, because I'm pretty sure I'll be able to read it. And Anadoltia will head to the nearest thing where she actually read like the numbers and all that on a screen of some sort.
All right. So you're moving into the chamber.
Yeah.
Is everyone kind of joining you here?
Othgarurt will also move in, carrying the breakfast.
I'll join in.
Elysia will also enter, offering breakfast to the machine and talking to it like it's sentient, hopefully.
All right. As you enter into the space, the door just kind of seals behind you, and you hear from kind of a small speaker on the top of the ceiling. All right. As we had mentioned before, and all the sound of the gnomes working outside is completely stopped, but you can hear strange kind of whirrings and beeping coming from the wonder machine in front of you. The gnome's kind of like speaking into the room over the loudspeaker for you, and he goes, as we mentioned before, we've figured out one button, which is the big red one right in the kind of middle, and he kind of points out to on one of it's octagonal in shape, and on one of the 8 sides there is precisely one button, and it's a big red button. That's going to execute the current array, and he kind of gestures for you to look above it from the other side, and you can see the number 20 written above that button. And he goes, there are currently 20, it's been told that it's going to be producing 20 things, and we can't figure out how to tell it it's not going to do that once we've started, and we don't know if there's, like I was saying, a timer on it, so you need to either push that button 20 times or otherwise figure out how to shut it down another way.
Well, I do suggest Sarge be the one to press the button, because if any of these 20 things it results in an explosion, I don't want to be near it.
Well, let me see if I can figure something out on the things that I was speaking of, like a screen with all these numbers on it. That was totally.
All right, yeah. So you're going to go over and you want to just begin kind of making an investigation check and like.
Well, less investigation, like just looking for that screen with numbers and actually reading what the numbers will turn into using Eyes of the Room.
Okay, yeah. Go ahead and just roll me an investigation check.
Okay, one moment.
As this thing is unbelievably intricate in the number of like buttons and levers and knobs on it. All right, so you're looking around and you do find that number pad, and you're going through. And as you kind of lean down and start to read it, you can see just a panel on the Wonder Machine, just by you kind of like observing and being close to it, pops out, and there's like a very elaborate keypad, both like a full kind of QWERTY keyboard along with numbers for you to enter into any script. Currently, as you're reading across what's currently written on it, it is just a seemingly random pattern of 463782910 AAA5, and that's what's written there, and that is what it says. It doesn't appear to be like translating because this isn't a language. It's just in the same way that Eyes of the Runekeeper don't let you read ciphers, this is like a cipher. So it's just what it is.
Wait,
so that's what you see.
There's additional information that I'm missing from Eyes of the Runekeeper. Because
it's like just in the same way. Like if you were to read a riddle, it wouldn't give you the answer to the riddle. If you were to read someone who had written, who had encoded their spell book, for example, a wizard, you would be able to read any of the language. For example, you could read "The thrush knocks at midnight," because the runes would become clear in language to you, but you wouldn't know that when he writes that, what he means is, this spell casts fireball, if that makes sense. So
okay,
the ability
gotcha.
to read writing doesn't like tell you secret codes. It just but there is a keypad entry thing there. Do you place down the breakfast? Do you place down the breakfast in front of it?
Yes, I will walk forward and present the breakfast machine. We have breakfast now. We do not need you to run. You can shut down.
You put the breakfast before it, and as soon as you kind of place something down, you watch as a little like light sensor pops out of it and begins just kind of scanning over the breakfast, and then you watch as 8 different kind of random signal lights light up on the side of the machine.
Does anything happen to the code that is currently within the machine?
The display code there? No, that is unchanging.
Interesting. So it just simply scanned it and did nothing with it.
It seemed like it scanned it, and then it seemed to change some of the lights on it turned on after scanning it. Some of them also turned off. There's a big panel of like lights of all different colors, greens and reds and oranges and yellows, and that completely like rearranged itself when it scanned that thing.
Guys, I think we should at least brute force this at least once just to see what this thing is capable of.
Are there any indicators, like labels on the lights of like what they might represent?
Oh god, no, they are all completely. There's the closest thing to an indicator is like the keypad entry, where it lets you type in like numbers and stuff.
Yeah, I was about to get to that. I was asking like the numbers the random numbers that it produce. Can I type those into the keypad?
Yes. As you begin typing to the keypad, all of the numbers disappear, and you see the things that you're typing begin to pop up into the display.
Elysia will press one of the lights that popped on when we gave it breakfast if it's a button.
It is just an indicator light, but there are buttons underneath them, so you could press the button underneath each indicator light if you wanted.
I'll press the button under each indicator light that lit when we give it breakfast.
All right, I would like you to make me a history check to see if you can remember all of the lights that were changed as a result. Well, pretty good. Yeah, you're pretty confident that you got most of them as you go through and kind of tap every single light there. As you hit them, you're noticing that some of them, like there were some that were just turned off that turned on, and as you're hitting the buttons, it's actually like cycling them through to a different color. So you hit a green one, all of the green ones that you hit are just cycling through to red, and it seemed to be like moving through a number of choices rather than just a single binary off or on.
How many colors does it seem to have? I'll tap one button continually.
Each one seems to have 5 colors, which are off: green, red, yellow, and orange. There are about 25 of these. Meanwhile, you go in and type in all of these little details into the pad and retype that string of numbers. Anadoltia, what happens is the little keypad entry, it disappeared, like it overwrit the text that was there and the numbers that were there, and then it just reappears like someone had typed those numbers in, and now you've typed them in again, basically. Does that make sense the way I'm describing that? It's like
basically it's like a pretty much just like pretty much did the same thing over again.
Yeah, just like a keyboard. Like you highlighted the word dog that you typed on a keyboard and then rewrote the word dog.
Yeah, all right. So yeah, that makes sense. So after that, I'll kind of like just look to the others, like let them know, like I figured one thing out, so they can actually try to attempt the whole brute force for the first one. I'll see if there's any changes.
Okay, so I'm going to advise everyone move away from this thing, just in case.
You guys want to back to the edge of the chamber? Is that what you're...
Yeah, that's what
Ed Ocean will do something right beforehand, though.
What do you want to do?
Armor of Agathis / Veil Winter.
Fair enough. All right, you cast Armor of Agathis on yourself. You gain 25 temporary hit points. And then you guys kind of back to the edges. Are you all like huddled up by the door? Are you going to like the far corners, all of you? Like, what's your play?
Anadoltia is going to try to keep her eyes on that screen, but still be far away from the machine as possible. Okay. Just to see if there's any changes.
I believe they said the entire room is a danger zone, so backing away will not help us. Perhaps if we stay close to the center with the machine, we would have an easier time.
That is where I'm more worried that the center of the machine is going to create an explosion. That is why the only person I want at the button is Sarge.
I will stand over there with him then.
Okay.
Will stay at the panel with all the buttons and lights.
All right, you're just going to stand and observe the button and light panel. Go ahead. So Othgarurt's going to go up. I'm sorry. Sarge is going to go up and hit the button.
Yep. I'm going to have Sarge press the button that initiates the command.
Pocket monster, I choose you. Go, Sarge. Hops up. As he pops out, you just hear him kind of go, Sarge, Sarge.
Oh, good. Now, do me a favor and press the nice big button.
Do you say that in Pocket Creature or in Common?
Oh, yes. I say that in the Pocket Creature language, just to confuse everyone.
Yeah, you just hear Michael Verity just go, Sarge, Sarge! And Sarge kind of nods and goes, Sarge, Sarge, so to say, all right, Michael, I'll do it. Are you sure this is safe?
I don't know. I'm just going to tell him, I don't know. That is why I need you to do it, but don't worry.
He goes, this seems a little harsh having me do it, but I guess I'll be fine either way, because I'll go back into the pocket sphere. All right, let's go for it. He slams on the button. I would like you to roll me a D100, Michael.
D100, let's do it. 58.
Ooh, 58. You watch as well, this is a rough one for observation. You watch as soon as you kind of Sarge hits the button, just on the top of the on the top of the Wonder Machine, where there was that kind of like rotating windmill, a kind of a small orb of just pure black appears, and then it spreads out, casting darkness on the exact space where the Wonder Machine is.
and also you can still see then.
Oh, good, good. Yes. Okay. So you can see. As soon as this happens, so you're the only one that can see anything, because magical darkness now covers the Wonder Machine. And Anadoltia, you see that what you typed into the keyboard disappears from the input as soon as the button is hit.
Oh, so that's interesting.
Additionally, with the casting of this spell, Anadoltia, as you're kind of walking around, because again, you're the only one that can see, the number ticks down from 20 to 19.
Okay,
Sarge in the dark is kind of speaks out to you. I'm still here, Michael. It's just very dark. Do you want me to keep going?
Let me ask everyone else. I'm gonna ask Anadoltia. Anadoltia, do we want me to press it again?
well, I mean, from what I can see, what was put into there disappeared. So yeah, it went down one order. Though I would recommend someone else maybe attempting to dispel the darkness.
Anadoltia, could you type on the keyboard, "Wonder Machine, please dispel the darkness," and then hit the button? Maybe it'll.
I mean, I could try, but I doubt it will, considering that the original code was rather random in its own self. But I could try something, and Anadoltia will at least attempt to type something like dispel, curly brace, darkness, curly brace.
All right.
Dot star.
Go ahead and make me an intelligence check.
Just raw intelligence.
Yeah, just raw intelligence.
Oh,
Right.
guidance her.
Yeah, go ahead and roll the extra for the guidance.
Wait, I have guidance.
From Elysia.
Okay, so yeah, it'll be 17.
And the space, the range of the darkness is such that it's just a big sphere in the center of the room. Elysia, you weren't able to see the thing, so you typed that thing about dispel bracket curly brace. Do you have Sarge hit it again?
Yeah.
I tell Sergeant Pocket Creature, you have my permission to press it again.
All right, roll me another D100.
2.
Interesting. And as soon as Sarge hits it, you see in the space just the darkness kind of vanishes and sort of disappears as soon as you do that. But now a large area kind of spans out around it. I need all of you to make me wisdom saving throws.
Oh dear.
That's something I'm kind of good at.
Oh. And Michael also. So Elysia and Othgarurt and Michael, all of you, you're able to see again, and as soon as you kind of get excited about like, oh wow, it worked, you found you're thinking, oh, whoa, whoa, and your voices are incredibly slowed down. As you've been affected now by the slow spell, it would seem. You're moving currently in slow motion.
In slow motion, Elysia will start.
Does Sarge
buttons.
pass? He rolled a 25.
Sarge passes, as does Anadoltia.
Well, crap. Sarge and Anadoltia are on their own then.
And you can move, you're just moving at half speed. And as you say, oh crap, it comes over, oh crap.
Now that she can see again in slow motion, Elysia will start pressing the buttons on the button panel to make a pretty pattern of the lights.
Since the last two things have happened, every light has completely changed where it was before. What's the pattern that you want to make, though?
Let's go like a water drop one where it's like red in the center and then slowly radiating out a rainbow effect.
All right, yeah. So the water drop is like is going to be bright red. and then around it, it's just different colors is what you're going for.
Yep.
Cool.
All right, Anadoltia at this time will try to type something else into that keypad.
All right, what do you type in?
Pretty much like it says, pretty much like cast, like curly brace, haste, curly brace, all entities dash outside unit, something like that, and then just put dot start.
All right. And Sarge kind of looks at you, Michael, and goes, Sarge?
I'm
I didn't know what I did.
Since I realize I'm very slow to talk, I simply nod my head to say, "Do it."
Your head goes up and down lazily as Sarge slams it again. Michael, roll me another D100.
The number is 34.
34. All right. What an absolute delight. All right. So as you kind of put the... Oh, wait, I need you to make me an intelligence check.
Anadoltia, you mean?
Yep, I also need you to make me an intelligence check, Elysia.
I will bless myself, or not bless, Titan.
Ooh!
Wait, do I still get the thing with guidance, or is that like a one-time thing?
That's like
It's
a...
one-off.
Elysia has to use an action, unfortunately, yeah.
Okay, I want to make
but
sure.
You go and kind of, you were slowly just hitting buttons, making this little pattern while things were setting up. And as soon as you hit the button this time, the slow does not go away, unfortunately. But what you do see is, what you do see in the space is the machine kind of whirs and then begins scanning an area over to the side, and you hear as a massive elephant gets conjured into the space. I would like you all to roll for initiative. I think that it seems like you should have disadvantage on initiative because you guys are currently slowed, but I don't think you do. And this elephant rolls a 15. The first to act in this instance is you, Michael Verity. You're moving extremely slowly, but all of a sudden there's an... Let's talk about the elephant in the room. What would you like to do, Michael Verity?
So I have a weird question. How does slowness affect me in combat?
You can move or attack. You cannot take reactions.
So I can only do either or. Okay.
That is correct.
So you know what? I'm just going to stay put, like, away from the elephant, and
Just gonna run at half speed across the room.
no, I'm going to take. Wait. If I shoot a ranged attack, is it at disadvantage or something? Or
No, but it would be your whole turn.
I'll just shoot a crossbow at the elephant.
All right, make an attack roll. Oh my goodness!
This is the slow aim.
Very slowly brings up the crossbow and then.
It's like an action movie where I slow down and it's
But then the crossbow
critical
bolt
hit.
fires at regular speed. Go ahead and roll damage on that. Nice crit, 7 points of damage. The elephant kind of rears back and stomps its feet. It's looking angry. That's gonna bring us to the elephant's turn. Oh wait, no, I'm sorry. Oh yeah. It's Othgarurt's turn. Othgarurt, what would you like to do? I'm sorry, at the end of your turn, Michael, if you'd like to make a wisdom saving throw to break out of this slow.
Very well.
And then it is Othgarurt. I'll just tell you now that anything the Wonder Machine does to you guys is a DC 15, so just know that for all things, unless I say otherwise for some reason. All right, go ahead, Othgarurt.
Right as the elephant appeared, Othgarurt was just about to ask, "Is anyone going to eat the..."
Elephant appeared on the... There's an elephant in the space. What do you do, Othgarurt?
Othgarurt, upset over the loss of the breakfast that could have potentially been at least decent, will very slowly toss a javelin.
I don't think this is actually technically affected by slow, but it seems like it should be. Go ahead and make an attack roll. 15 will hit again. Roll damage on that. All right, another 10 points of piercing damage. Wow, you guys are doing nice, good work. You toss a javelin, and the elephant is. Sorry, anything else on your turn, Othgarurt?
No.
Go ahead and make another wisdom save at the end of your turn. 13, just barely failing on that one. As now the elephant goes, and the elephant's gonna look at you who crit him, Michael, and is going to run at you and use their trampling charge. And they're gonna make a gore attack against you. That's a 12 to hit. I assume that misses. Michael.
A 12 does miss.
All right. And as the elephant is just kind of like, because Michael, you and Sarge are kind of up in the paint. Sarge is over at the thing. As the elephant comes back, I would like Sarge to make me a dexterity saving throw, as he is kind of, I think, in the path of this trampling charge from where they
Very well.
was.
21.
Sarge is fine. Sarge ducks handily out of the way as the elephant continues to rampage. That's going to move us next in initiative to Anadoltia, I believe.
Yeah, Anadoltia sees the elephant, says, "Have to shit him out," and just casts a sentence step.
All right, you're just gonna levitate up.
I just levitated upwards.
Yeah, you're out of the way. It's a selfish move,
People need me.
but an effective one. As Anadoltia just begins floating up towards the ceiling, we move next to Elysia.
Elysia will begin to cast Firebolt very slowly.
Wisdom save. Elysia, you are no longer slowed, which I think that just still means you're beginning to cast Firebolt and it casts on your next turn. But if you want to change, you now can, because you're no longer slowed. So you are no longer slowed, and that's going to bring us top of the initiative, Michael. Actually, does Sarge have his own initiative, or does Sarge go on your turn, Michael?
It goes on my turn.
All right. What do you want to do, Michael?
So the elephant is right on my face, so I'm going to make my 2 attacks with the sword now. Or am I only limited to 1 due to being slowed?
Oh, I forgot to mention something very important about this elephant that I forgot to mention before, and this is going to change your entire context on how you feel about this elephant, and while I said roll for initiative, and that is, this elephant, its skin seems to be translucent, and you can, see its internal organs.
That's disgusting.
Yeah, this is a horrifying elephant. I know that's a big contextual change.
It's Gigantoland all over again.
Yep, and that's important because of reasons. But it is a terrifying elephant. All right, so what do you want to do, Michael?
Do I still get 2 attacks if I use a sword, or am I limited on that?
You're limited to 1 attack maximum per turn.
Very well. I will use 1 attack for the sword then.
Swing away. 27 is absolutely going to hit. Jesus.
For at least 16, if not the radiant damage counting.
I think this elephant is chaotic. You're going to hit for 23 as you slash in with the sword, and you can see some of the blood that comes out. You can see it how it's filtering through the body and out the elephant's body through the translucent skin. It's terrifying. And you hit it for a bunch of damage.
And I had a weird question. If I had guidance, does guidance affect saving throws or no?
It does not.
Okay, just making sure.
You may still make a wisdom saving throw now.
Yes,
you are no longer slowed. Yep. And Sarge gets to do stuff too.
I'll
bonus action to command Sarge, or does he just do?
I think I'll have him do something. I mean, besides,
want me to hit the button again?
No, I want him to attack the elephant.
All right. He goes over and
with his basic rend attack.
He attacks the elephant.
Let me roll it. Does a 15 hit the elephant?
A 15 will hit the elephant for, oh my goodness, 22 slashing damage. That's massive damage. The elephant's looking pretty near beat up. The elephant does not have a lot of life left in him as we move to you, Othgarurt.
Othgarurt is still too slowed to make this comment, but it's too good for me to pass up. if it's a see-through elephant, does that technically make it an elephantum?
Damn it.
What would you like to do on your turn?
Toss another javelin.
All right, go ahead and make an attack roll. 14 will still hit. Roll damage
Excellent.
on that. 6 points of piercing damage. You chuck this javelin, but it is not quite enough to. It's not quite enough to bring the elephant down, although it is very close. And you see it begin to just kind of wiggle its trunk back and forth, and it's going to rear up and go after you again, Michael. As it does so, however, you watch as its trunk just kind of haphazardly crashes and swings into the button.
Oh no.
We're going to go ahead and roll again. And
You rolled a 59.
you watch as out of the up across the ground, you can see a great kind of glade of grass begins to grow in the space as the number sinks to, I believe that is number 17 that we're number 16 that we're on, and also you watch as out of the top of it, you see a bunch more things begin to kind of render into the space as it's creating this kind of field on the ground. Flowers are growing. You also see a bunch of flying creatures, which at first you assume are going to be butterflies to match the aesthetic, and then you see they all appear to be flying monkeys, and they all appear to have this same weird skin thing where you can see their blood as the elephant.
And I'm assuming they're also very aggressive.
There's a whole bunch of them. No, they're just kind of fluttering around fairly peacefully and making sort of monkey noises, is at least what seems to happen, and the elephant's making an attack against you, Michael. That's a 16.
And that's a miss.
All right, that's going to move us next in initiative to... that's going to move us next in initiative to Product. What do you want to do? You're up on the ceiling.
Anadoltia, consider where she's at as safety, starts casting Fey Touch Splash at the elephant.
All right, do it away. 18 is going to hit. The 1 was not enough to finish the elephant off, but the extra 3 on top was. The elephant kind of collapses to the ground, slain. And now there's just a room full of tiny monkeys that are flying around.
Wait, are these just flying tiny monkeys, or are they tiny flying monkeys?
They are tiny flying monkeys. They're
Okay,
they are little monkeys with wings that are all flying around and doing stuff.
Okay, I want to make sure they weren't the tiny monkeys from the zoo.
No, they seem to be roughly the same size, but this is a variety of them that have wings.
Okay.
As we move next in initiative, I mean, you can try them. They might be delicious, like the tiny monkeys at the zoo. As we move next to Elysia, your firebolt's ready to cast if you want to do that, but you can do whatever you want. You're not slowed.
I'll drop the firebolt and I'll go over to the input pad and type, please render skin and fur.
Well, one thing that you are noticing is that from where, Elysia, from where it looked like you put in that big red, like, teardrop shape, it is a big red drop, which does look a lot like blood. But currently there's a bunch of monkeys flying around. So is that what you're doing on your turn, is going over to the keypad in tray?
It's an interesting thing you pointed out. Can I change the buttons here from
With your 20
the...
intelligence check from before.
Can I
what do you
change
wanna
it from
change
like
to?
a blood teardrop to like a smiley face?
Yeah, absolutely. Make another intelligence check for me. 10. All right. You go and kind of toss a smiley face in there as you move next in initiative to. Oh, that's the top of the initiative. Monkey's got to roll. They are going to roll initiative. There's some flying monkeys around. The turn is Michael's. What do you want to do, Michael?
Since the monkeys aren't aggressive, or
This is like this is a swarm of them. Yeah, they all seem to just higher pitch than I'm doing right there because I can't get my voice as high as these tiny monkeys would be. But they're just flying around. There's a lot of them. There might be like 30 or 40 of them in the room.
Yeah, I'm not gonna. I'm gonna leave the monkeys alone since they're, passive and not doing anything harmful.
All right.
I'm going to have Sarge press the button again.
Sarge, roll D100, Max.
Drum roll as I roll the D100. It is a 96.
Ooh. That's funny. As soon as Sarge hits the button, you watch as his kind of metallic coat from before becomes more of like a cobalt blue, as he has now got bright blue metal. Roll a D10.
A D10. Interesting. 6.
6. All right. Yeah. Sarge turns bright blue. And I think that's all for your turns. Move to Othgarurt. What do you want to do, Othgarurt?
When I last turn, I forgot to make a wisdom save at the end of it.
All right. Yeah, please roll it again.
Thank you.
Good. Alas, Othgarurt's still slowed comically over on the side. What do you want to do, Othgarurt?
With all of these monkeys flying about, and Othgarurt's perspective on things being somewhat slowed, or at least his reactions being slowed, he'll pull his halberd off of his back and swing at one of the nearest monkeys flying by him.
All right, go ahead and make an attack roll.
I have a great deal of difficulty doing the slowed
do.
voice.
You do completely miss this monkey as your halberd comes up. It's just you were swinging at a monkey that was there like 30 seconds ago. That's an exaggeration, but you're swinging at a monkey that was there 5 seconds ago as the halberd passes through the air and hits nothing. And we move to monkeys' turns. Monkeys are going about. The monkeys are going to go about and do some stuff. But you watch as 4 of those monkeys are flying around and messing with controls on the machine. The button ends up getting hit 4 times on the monkey's turn. So we're gonna roll 4 D100s and see what happens.
Oh God.
Did you make another wisdom save?
again.
Yes, I passed finally.
Okay, very good. And all right, I need everyone to make a Constitution saving throw. I need everyone to make another Constitution saving throw. A big orb of darkness. I'm sorry, wait, just one Constitution saving throw. Another orb of darkness appears in the space. So it seems you've redone whatever that was. I need you all to make a Dexterity saving throw.
I'll roll for Sovereign. I will roll for Sarge, and then myself.
And actually,
one Constitution, one Dex?
You are good on the. Oh no, you need to make all of them. Yep, Dex and Con for all of you. 15 is the DC for everything that happens.
Yeah, I failed the Dex.
Failed Dex and Con. Sarge failed the Con.
All right, so the Wonder Machine just explodes in a massive ball of fire as every single monkey is obliterated in the room as flames cast out. If you fail the saving throw, you take 27 points of damage. You have advantage, I believe, Othgarurt, if you didn't you on the dex save, Othgarurt, so you succeed. Danger sense.
What was this damage from? Was it from the con save or the dex save?
That was from the dex save. And then the other one, you also see as just like this kind of terrible gas begins to spread out from like across the ground. And those of you who failed the con save find yourself coughing and kind of retching at this gas that courses outwards. And you are kind of incapacitated for a moment. All the monkeys are dead. Anadoltia, you are on the ceiling, correct?
I was pretty much 20 feet in the air.
Oh, then you were exactly in it. Never mind. I was going to say you're above it, but you are right on the edge.
Pete, I do have a question. Is this gas considered poison? Because if so, Sarge is immune to it.
In that case, Sarge is completely immune to this.
And even though Anadoltia already pretty much passed it, she's also she has advantage on saving throws against poison anyway.
Oh, good. Then that as well.
Also, I do have one question. Since it, if since it's a gas, I would have need to breathe it in, right?
Absolutely.
I don't need to breathe.
If you don't need to breathe, I think you might...
Dollbound is a warforged.
Well, it's not a gas. It's like the smell, and I think it's like I don't think you're immune to sense of smell. Each creature in the cloud. Yeah, I think. Oh wait, no, you're right. You're good. If you don't have to breathe, you're immune. So you're good. You're just all set. And the so the gas spreads out. Anadoltia and Sarge are good, and then one more thing happens. There's an explosion. There's the sphere of darkness in the center of room, in the center of the room, and then along the wall now you watch as a portal opens, a big kind of circle, and on the other side of it, it is fairly dim, but also you can see like wisps of flame coming up from like ashy, cracked earth, and.
I think we just opened a portal to hell, and I'm not going in it.
Oh no, not again.
Oh, wait,
That's
question.
where you're at. All the monkeys are dead. It's actually very quiet in the chamber right now. Yes, Anadoltia.
Would that portal be considered a spell or magical effect?
It is definitely a magical effect. This whole room is a magical effect.
I mean, would the Wonder Machine count?
No, it's not a spell.
Okay, it's not a spell, right?
Yeah, spell is it's a magical effect, but not a spell.
Okay, never mind then. I'll just do something else when it comes my turn.
All right, and there's now a portal in the space. A lot of you are coughing and choking. That was the monkey's turn. They're all dead now. We're gonna move next to it's actually you, Anadoltia. What do you want to do?
Yeah, that portal doesn't give me any good vibes, so that's just a spell.
All right, I need you to make me a spell casting check.
All right, 1 second. That'll be just charisma plus the bonus, I think.
Yep, charisma, d20 plus your charisma score.
Give me a moment. So 1d20 plus 5.
$18. And as you casted a spell magic on that portal, it kind of shuts down and closes.
Yeah, after that, it also just will pretty much just move down to the keypad to the darkness and like disable the darkness.
You're gonna ask it to disable the darkness?
Yeah, like I did the first time.
Go ahead and make me an intelligence check. Oh, you're gonna enter in the same thing that you entered in last time?
Yes.
All right, still I need you to make me an intelligence check, and I'm gonna give you advantage. All right, go ahead and you're gonna roll me a d100.
Who, me?
Yeah, you going over to hit the button?
Yeah, might as well. I do. All right. Yeah, 1 second.
There's still a terrible cloud in the room. That's just kind of those of you who are stuck in it just are hacking and coughing.
Yeah, I pretty much tell everyone just hang on a moment. I'll see if I can do something.
Go ahead and roll that d100 for me. A 15. And you actually watch as the machine begins to kind of curl up and whip up something of a storm. The darkness is still there, but wind begins to push outwards from the center of it, pushing the cloud to the back, the kind of edges of the room. And you guys are, at this point, I believe that you are, I believe you guys are halfway there.
Nice.
And yeah, those of you who are stuck in the cloud are no longer stuck in that because the wind is kind of pushing it, even though the cloud is still in the space. But the wind that is constantly here is moving it to the back of the room. What do you guys all want to do? As you now have kind of a temporary moment of relative calm as the space could be. You hear a voice kind of come over the intercom. You guys are doing great.
Okay.
10 more to go.
Let's just
Yeah.
all huddle around the button and hit it as quick as we can to empty out the queue. Just all 5 of us. Whack, 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 whack.
No,
I like this
no,
idea.
I don't want to
No,
make
no,
10
no.
explosions.
It won't explode.
Yeah,
It's only exploded
yeah,
one time so far.
Yeah, Anadoltia says, all right, if you want to do that, let me do something first. And Anadoltia just casts resistance on herself.
All
I
right.
cast Bless on all of us.
I love it. Okay.
Yeah, I would say also Anadoltia, just in case, like, she don't know what this machine's capable of, but she also casts Trickster's Escape on her.
All right. You guys all gonna. So I think what's happening right now is you're all readying an action. How are you doing this rapid fire button hit? Because I don't think you can literally do it 10 in like a round. So I think it's gonna take you at least a touch longer than that.
We all gather around, hold an action, and hit it 5 times in one cycle of initiative count.
I think that you can definitely make happen. You're basically taking the core concept of the villager railgun, the peasant railgun that's so often been spoken of in D&Ds of lore, and applying that to hitting this button. Is that fair to say?
It's like a stab
Yes.
circle, but also with the villager railgun aspects.
Okay. Are you entering any particular commands? Does anyone want to try and influence the machine at all?
Yeah, Anadoltia was like, as soon as like she does go to the command button right before the button presses and type in input null all.
Are there any toggles on the machine?
Oh, there are levers. There's up and down. There's up and down levers. The most interesting control is there's one that's just a rope. It's just hanging off the side. You're not sure what it does.
Oscar's gonna walk up to that before we get into the full circle formation and pull on it very hard.
Okay. You just pull on it as hard as you can, and as you're kind of pulling back, like a little meter above it begins to kind of like pick up and move upwards, as if, you know, like responding to your resistance in live time. Go ahead and make me a strength check. 11. You pull it back and you don't bury the meter, but just with your natural strength, you bring it pretty close. It's maybe there's like 4 more spaces on like a
Well,
12
what about
space.
Bliss?
There are 4 more bars on a 12-bar meter that could have gone up.
I
Bless
forgot
does
about
not
Bless.
Bless
Yeah,
does
it
not
does not
affect
affect skill
checks.
But you have this meter that's now been on there. All of you, in that case, I would like Michael, you roll twice because Sarge is doing it too. But I'd like the rest of you to all roll me a D100, unless any of you have any other last-minute adjustments you'd like to make to the Wonder Machine.
Yeah, I already
I
said what I
slowly
was
face
doing
bigger
with
and
it, so.
smilier.
Oh, you want to make this face? Roll me another int check. Anyone who's doing a weird thing, roll me an int check and tell me what it is. Okay, so smiley face 6.
I did the same with the like putting their null all in the keypad. So
What was it again? Newell all?
null
all.
Null all.
Oh, null all. Okay, yeah. Go ahead and roll me an intelligence check. All right.
Oh, plus Bless doesn't work on that.
And as you enter in,
Oh wait. I would like to use my inspiration that I've had on my character for a while to re-roll.
sure, absolutely.
There we go.
16. All right. In that case, is there anything else you would like to do?
I'm rolling my 2D100s.
All right, everyone, roll me a D100, and Michael, you roll 2.
44 and 29. Those are my 2 rolls for me and Sarge.
64.
Give me in ascending order what's happening here.
29, 44, 58, 64, and 91.
Wow, that darkness loves us.
64. All right. So, as soon as you, what was yours? Frog wasn't any. Okay, yeah. As soon as you all kind of hit this button in rapid suggestion, bop, 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 that was 5. You hit the button in rapid succession. The room just goes pitch black, and not in the way that the darkness has before. You just seem to now be in this space with the Wonder Machine, and around you is void. You can just hear the floor, you can still feel the floor underneath you, and right as you guys were starting to disappear, you could hear a voice over the speaker going, "Wait, what's going on?" And then it just cuts out. And then, additionally, there's another sphere of darkness beyond the now black, limitless void that the Wonder Machine had put you into. Beyond that, I need you all to make me a dexterity saving throw. And in the darkness of the void, actually, I just need one. I need you to roll a d4. Is what I need to do. Michael, I just need you to make a dexterity saving throw.
Okay, just me. Got it.
Just you.
And I failed.
As an arc of lightning crashes out of the machine. You're gonna take 27 points of lightning damage from the.
You just hear me get electrocuted.
Sarge! As he lends out a helping hand to try and protect you, but it's too late. A sphere of darkness appears in the void, enshrouding all of you except for Anadoltia, who can still see in it. So it's double dark. And you watch as a plume begins to grow up and out of the top, of the machine, and you can see, as you kind of like are stepping back out of the darkness, trying to gain yourselves, Elysia, you see the form of a smiley face in this green kind of smoke that's appearing, and then you just see it kind of turn downwards into a frown. And then out of that smoke, it begins to kind of shift and kind of transform. And you see it begins to take upon the shape of a green dragon. I would like you all to again roll for initiative. There are 5 button presses remaining. You are in some kind of terrible dark void. As you're stepping back, the walls, wherever they once were, they're gone. And this dragon's gonna roll for initiative.
So I'll take it this dragon is also in that magical darkness?
The dragon is up, has risen up and is above it and is kind of flying above the magical darkness. But he's in the null zone, which all of you are. The entire space is in the null zone. I would like, in that case, to bring us to the first initiative, which is Elysia. Elysia, what would you like to do? There's a dragon. You guys have backed out of the darkness.
Except for Anadoltia.
Okay.
Except for Anadoltia.
Well, okay, that won't wait until much, much later. Oh boy. Let's start things off interesting. I will... You know what? Yeah, I'll twin spell haste on Othgarurt and Michael.
Ooh. All right. Othgarurt and Michael, you find yourselves suddenly emboldened with incredible speed. Anything else on your turn, Elysia?
I will go into the darkness and huddle in cover under the machine, or as tucked in close to the machine as I can.
All right, you're going to take cover in the shadow as we move next in initiative to Anadoltia. What do you want to do?
Anadoltia is headed to that button and just hitting it again.
All right, roll a d100. You're not doing anything to try and influence it?
At this time, no. Because we have a green.
Oh yeah, there's a lot going on. Go, so just roll it straight up.
She's just gonna try to get all the orders out of the way.
Well, that's not great for you and Elysia. I would like both of you to make me wisdom saving throws. I'm sorry. Yeah, no, wisdom saving throws.
I'm gonna go ahead and spend my favorite by the gods to succeed.
That is a great idea.
We still have bless up, right?
No, we do not. I dropped it for haste.
Yep, bless.
Okay, well, I still have my resistance, which I'm using now. Which
Sure. So you rolled. What does resistance do again?
it adds 1d4
Okay.
to a saving throw.
All right. So if you want to roll that, but it's not going to get you there.
Well, I'm not done though because I also have the coins toss.
Okay. So go ahead and give it a shot. Roll the
Okay,
D4,
so that
you're
would be
12.
12. All right, now time for the coins toss. And oh well.
Yeah, a 13 isn't going to get you there. And Anadoltia, you find yourself, just as before you were the only one that wasn't slowed, now you are the only one that is slowed, as you find yourself kind of brought down in pace. As we move next in initiative 2, that's going to be Othgarurt. Yep, I'm right, Othgarurt. What do you want to do? You're hasted. You feel the speed, the power, the energy.
Wait. I don't think slow can affect me because of Trickster's escape.
What?
You touch him with, I have Trickster's escape up. For the duration, the target's movement is unaffected by difficult terrain. Spells and other magical effects can neither reduce the target's speed nor cause the target to be paralyzed or restrained.
Is that an ability that you have to use though? That's not.
Yeah, I actually used it alongside of what was it, the resistance.
Back when the monkeys showed up.
Yeah.
It's an invocation that lets Anadoltia cast freedom of movement.
Okay, so you have freedom of movement.
Yeah, there we go.
Is that a concentration spell?
No, it's not.
Okay, then you are still under the effects of the slowed spell, but your movement is not reduced by that, and you're not paralyzed or restrained. So you're still slower on action economy, but your movement speed is normal. So your movement is not halved.
All right.
In that case, Othgarurt.
We're not to the end of this yet, but now is definitely the time to get angry, to get very, very angry.
Yeah.
So, Frenzied Rage, and Othgarurt will dart right up into Green Dragon's face and go full ham.
Isn't the green dragon flying?
It's flying a little bit up, so what you're going to have to do if you want to do that is make a really rad jump off of the Wonder Machine.
While in the darkness still.
In the dark. You know where it is because you've seen it for so long, but there's going to be it's going to be touch and go.
I will attempt.
Go ahead and make me an athletics check with disadvantage because you can't see it, but advantage because you're raging.
All right.
You're so mad you can. Oh my God! You're so mad you can see in the dark as you run up, and you just know this stupid Wonder Machine where it is, and fly and jump and go ahead and do all of the attacks and hits that you're gonna do. Also, with your crit, I will give you the option to hit the button with your foot while you're going by if you want.
Yes, please.
Or maybe your tail kind of whacks it as you're going through. Roll me a D100 as well.
Let's tail slap this.
All right, that's gonna roll the D6.
Both numbers scare me.
Elysia,
Yes.
you are stunned until the start of your next turn because believing that something awesome just happened, and I'm going to interpret this as you just are stunned because something awesome just happened, and that is that Othgarurt just did this diving jump out of the thing and is now making a bunch of attacks against this dragon in midair. It's pretty righteous looking in this void. Go ahead and make your attack rolls, Othgarurt.
I have slightly changed my tactics, knowing that I'm having to leap up into the air with the dragon. my hasted action shall be a grapple attack.
Ah, yes. So make them all.
Grapple check, and then
I'm sorry, you get to save against that stun. I thought it was
Constitution.
automatic, but you don't.
two four-chamber swings.
Oh, you're actually good. All right, so the 18 is going to hit. The 10, unfortunately, is not. And the grapple check is probably gonna come out for you on this one. Oh no! Oh wait, no, you did get it. Yeah, you got it. Just
Barely.
23. And you're now just kind of holding on to the neck of the dragon while you bang into it with the forge hammer, hovering up in the air. Kind of, insolent! Why have I been called here? The dragon says angrily, and it's going to take how much damage? 21 points of damage. All right, that dragon gets hit. There's only 3 button
15.
presses left.
The fire damage did not hit because I didn't roll high enough.
Oh, in that case, 15 points of damage. And Elysia, you're not stunned. We move next initiative to the dragon.
Yeah.
The dragon's going to just kind of aim down into, like, he knows how many there were, so he's just gonna look down into the darkness and poison breath there. Anadoltia and Elysia, I need you to make me con saves.
With advantage for me.
Yep.
20.
Both of you are going to succeed, taking half of this massive amount of poison damage. So each of you take, or Anadoltia, you're probably resistant, right? So
Yep.
you take half a half. So you're going to take 9. Elysia, you're going to take 19 points of poison damage.
Elysia's down and haste drops.
Oh, no. You're 3 button presses away, but Michael and Othgarurt, both of you find yourselves suddenly stunned as Elysia falls. This dragon is in a rough shape, and that would move us now to your turn, Michael, which you are unable to act because you are stunned from the haste that got dropped.
Can I use my only action to? Oh wait, I can't even talk either, can I? Crap.
No, but I'll let you just take a turn with.
I was
your
gonna-
boy.
I was gonna have Sarge literally attempt the same thing Othgarurt did with the leap,
All right, go ahead and have Sarge make an athletics check.
with the leap and grapple.
But keep in mind it's disadvantage because you don't have the advantage like
Oh yeah, because
you
it's
don't have advantage like he's did. If you're still cool with that, athletics.
it's fine.
All right, athletics check. 20 will still get you there. Sarge jumps up, going for the grapple.
And do I need? Is this normal?
Yeah,
Since
just
I can
another regular
okay.
roll athletics.
18 might not cut it.
We'll see. 18 does not cut it. You go to kind of grab on next to Othgarurt. Othgarurt, you're stunned, but I don't think that means you let go necessarily. So you're just still kind of holding on, just dazed. And you kind of slump down to the ground. Sarge does. And that's going to be all for Sarge's turn,
Yep.
I assume, as we move
Yep.
to the top, which was you, Elysia. I need you to make me a death save. You have one failure. As we move next to Anadoltia.
Anadoltia just hits the button again.
Hit it. Roll that D100. Are you going to try and influence it all?
No, she's just trying to get the orders out of the way as soon as possible.
All right. 2 left after this one, I believe. Go ahead and roll it. 19. As you kind of as you press the button again, the torrents of wind that you saw before return. I need you to make me a strength saving throw this time, Anadoltia.
Okay, 1 second.
You are
Yeah.
pushed back out of the darkness and into kind of clear view. Elysia, your body is kind of moved out, luckily to a place where it's now visible and people could potentially help you, compared to where you were at before. As we move next in initiative.
So I'm going to do my wisdom saving throw against the slow.
Oh yeah, absolutely. you are unfortunately currently still slowed as we move in initiative. Just a very fast slow. As we move next initiative to Othgarurt. Othgarurt, you are stunned. We move next initiative to the dragon, which is going to look down towards you, Michael, and is going to...
Technical question.
Let's-
As I've not been able to do any harm since my last turn, does that mean my rage drops?
Your rage would drop.
Okay, so you were
Yep.
saying the dragon sees me and
Haven't you taken damage from something? No, I guess you haven't.
no.
Yeah, so the rage would unfortunately drop. So yep, the dragon's gonna come and make an attack against you, Michael. It makes a bite attack and then 2
oh, it's
slots.
coming to me at the ground.
Yep,
Okay.
that's a 19.
Ow, that actually hurts.
That's a this dragon's getting really lucky.
Oh my.
And then a 9. I assume a 9 misses, but 19 and 20
9
hit
misses.
for 27 points of damage total. There's 2 button
I am
presses
still
remaining.
up.
As it's getting down to it now, and he's gonna roll to recharge. He does not. As we move next in initiative to,
Me.
it is you, Michael. The turn is now yours. What do you want to do?
Well, the dragon's in front of me,
You got a
so
dragon and 2 button presses left.
I'm not gonna even bother moving that dragon in front of my face. So I'm going to have, let's see. I know just what to do. Initiate my extreme attack combo.
All right. 25.
14's not gonna cut it, I don't think. But here's what I am gonna do. Action surge.
All right.
That's not gonna cut it, but I will.
Oh man, that's
what I am gonna do.
That's a 13's a high number. to
I'm
get for.
using my remaining attack for Sarge to do this.
Going to make a Constitution saving throw.
DC 15.
That fails. It's gonna
So
take
it's 12 necrotic damage. So and Sarge heals for 6 points.
All right. So we're gonna take 12 necrotic damage as well as.
And that Verity is
Sarge
dead.
goes on Sarge, and then what was the damage? Okay, 13 is not a chaotic creature, unfortunately, but a total of 25 damage. Yeah, now you're starting to land some serious hits on this dragon. As we move next in initiative to, well, Sarge did his thing. That's the top. Anadoltia.
Yeah, Anadoltia just rushes back in and hit that button.
One more button hit to go after this one. Roll me another D100. 25.
And just going to go ahead because it's probably going to be the action of my turn and do my wisdom. Yeah.
Anadoltia, I would like you to actually, Anadoltia, roll me a D5.
D5.
Yep. You have become mentally linked with Elysia. Elysia, in your near unconscious state, you begin to hear the voice of Anadoltia kind of speaking to you in your mind. For whatever that means. You guys can talk, even though you're unconscious, Elysia.
Question: how far was I from the machine?
You had to be in melee to hit the button.
I mean, like, how far was I from it? Like, when I was pushed back to the button.
Oh, only 20 feet.
20 feet. Okay, then the remaining speed is rushing back towards Elysia.
All right.
With the little mental link of I'm coming to get you up.
Elysia,
Radiates painful thoughts.
the turn is yours. I need you to make me another death save. What painful thoughts do you radiate? Do you say anything as you have this kind of outlet here? You have 1 success and 1 failure.
It's mostly groans and the sense of coughing and pain.
Fair enough. As we move next to you, Othgarurt, you are no longer in a rage, but you're still holding on to this very big dragon.
This is a hefty price to pay. I'm going to go into another
frenzied rage.
Oh dear, you have 1 exhausted, now you're gonna be coming down on 2, but you're in the final moments here. 1 button press remains. Go ahead and make your attack rolls, I assume.
Yes.
Got 2. Why is that 26 red?
That means that if I had hit that, it would have actually been fire damage.
These weren't reckless though.
I should have said so beforehand.
Yeah, it's fair. I appreciate your honesty. Go ahead and roll damage on the first step. For 9 points of damage, another big whack. The dragon kind of roars in response. That's all for your turn as we move next to Michael. Oh no, dragon. The dragon is going to kind of reach up and try and... actually, you know what? They're going to keep bearing down on Michael because they think Michael's getting kind of weak. That's a bite against you, Michael. 15? Misses, I assume. 26, I bet you hits, Michael?
Yeah, that's gonna hit.
11 points of damage. You still holding on?
I'm trying to calculate right now. Minus 11. Yeah, I'm down.
Oh, Michael falls as the dragon slammed and roars in kind of victory.
and as a result,
another foe
Sarge also has to return to his pocket sphere,
And Sarge
unfortunately.
just goes, Sarge! And zips back into the pocket sphere TM that appears in Michael's hand. 1 button press remains. As we move next in initiative to the top. Elysia, you make another death save. I did it out of Aura last time, but you have 2 failures as we move next to Anadoltia.
Anadoltia moves 20 feet to Elysia and gives her her only greater healing buff.
All right, roll it up.
It's 4. Is it 44?
Yeah, it's 44 plus 4. If you want to take, you can roll your own. If you don't want to take that one, or if you want to take that one, you're welcome to. You guys, everyone is now outside of the darkness as we move next to.
Yeah, I'm giving that one to right there to Elysia.
Oh, the dragon's gonna roll the recharge from last time. Forgot to do that. Does not. Othgarurt, what's the play? And roll for your slow again at the end of your turn. Anadoltia, don't forget that.
Yeah, 1 second.
Othgarurt, you're in a frenzied rage for the 2nd time as this dragon bears down upon you.
Then it's time to actually reckless attack.
All right, 3 reckless attacks.
I'll pay for that later, but
Swing away.
I would like also to note that the remaining 10 feet I went back towards the button.
Okay. 22 hits. Roll damage on that for a total of 10 points of damage. As the dragon's looking battered. But is still up. Anything else on your turn, Othgarurt?
I don't think there's anything else much I can do unless I can try to push myself towards the being on top of the dragon.
Not without taking an action to kind of try and grapple him. So, in that case, it's the dragon's turn, and the dragon's coming back at you, Othgarurt. That's a 20, a crit, and a 21.
All hit.
For 5 pure. I'm just gonna do your resistances. So 12 damage, and then 7, 19, a total with your resistances of 24 damage coming into you. How's Othgarurt looking?
Still alive, almost bloodied.
Oh wow, Othgart's got a lot of fight left. As we move, Michael, I need you to make me a death saving throw.
Understood. Let's make it. That's a success.
And you have a success. As we move, Elysia, you're back in the fray. What would you like to do? And the dragon's gonna roll the recharge.
Looking up, bloodied with the taste of potion in her throat, seeing Michael down before. Would Michael Verity be willing?
Willing for what?
Spice. Bonus action healing word, Mike.
Oh, thank you.
And then, as an action, I will twin polymorph, turning Michael into a T-Rex and Elysia into a giant.
Are you
Wait,
comfortable
what?
are you comfortable being a T-Rex?
Okay, I'm assuming I'm becoming a large creature now. Okay.
You become a giant T-Rex, and in the void, which is above you, you're being like too big for the room that you were in, but you're in an infinite void right now. And you become a giant T-Rex as we move next in initiative. And where are you, Elysia?
A giant ape.
Oh my goodness. All right.
We have King Kong and Godzilla as backup agents.
Literally Rampage, the plot of the game Rampage, as we move next to Anadoltia.
Hit that button.
All right.
The last button press.
Roll me a D100. All right. A terrible cloud of stinking gas emerges from the pillar, and as soon as it does, you watch as the Wonder Machine begins to act strangely. You see all of the lights on it as the kind of counter zeroes out, which only you can see currently, Anadoltia, in the darkness, and that darkness, then everyone can see it because it sucks back into the machine. The wind that was coursing out kind of ceases, and you watch as that dragon, which was conjured from smoke and nothing, kind of zips around and kind of floats around and and is forcibly pulled back in. The absolute darkness of the void around you once again alights, and you guys are all kind of standing back in the space. Now, Michael, a giant T-Rex, and Elysia, just a giant ape. And the machine, all of the lights kind of turn off on the machine, and it seems to shut down as soon as it kind of reaches zero, except for one. And you see a little boop, scanner kind of go out, and a plate of what looks like eggs and pancakes and hash browns, sausage and bacon, all perfectly cooked, appears on the ground before you, Othgarurt.
Well, he got his meal.
Takes in a deep breath in and out, calms down, and just slumps to eat the breakfast. He looks very tired.
It is very good. And over the kind of intercom, wait, you're back. We are about to call in another group of adventurers to rescue you when you disappeared into that null space. But it seems like everything's okay. And did you finish it?
I can
Yes.
my only response is to roar because I'm a T-Rex and wiggle my tiny little T-Rex arm.
And with a roar of triumph,
Response, yeah.
with a roar of triumph from T-Rex Michael Verity, is there an Elysia King Kong chest pound?
Not anything quite so barbaric. I'm a giant ape, not an animal.
Of
I
course.
give a massive ape
But I
thumbs
do
up.
imagine a banner
Yeah.
falling down from somewhere.
A T-Rex roar, an ape thumbs up, and I think that's where we're going to have this adventure come to an end for the evening, as eventually, they pay you out your reward and you're able to get out of this godforsaken lab. You each earn 300 Bartholomew bucks, and each of you gains 2 points of experience. Congratulations on your success in this adventure.
Thank you.
Thank you. It's been a wonderful time.
It was a joy. Would any of you like to shop?
Yes,
Sure.
I don't think we've rolled enough dice.
After my first adventure of the year, I think I should save up.
I mean, I'm a first level 9. I might as well do the shop.
All right. In that case, anyone who
If you
return to the
need a
shop,
magic item, you know where to stop. Just head on down
move your own tracks.
to Bartholomew's shop.
What can I? Greetings, adventurers. I trust everything well. What can I get for you?
I think as a pretty powerful doll right now, I like to get a bag.
A bag pull? We can certainly do. Roll me a D1000, and I wish you only the best of luck. 306. Let's see what the bag has in store for you. your hand passes over first a katana, you think it was, which isn't your thing, and then something caustic. You get like almost an acid burn as you touch it, which again, not your thing. What you end up going for is a wand, certainly more your speed, and as you pull it out, it's very small, and there's a sparking glass sphere on the top of it. And Bartholomew speaks, yes, this is a Tesla's wand, belonged to an old mage. You can use it to create, very small sparks and kind of shock people with it. And every time you do, fitting for the day, you roll a D100, and on a high enough roll, you cast a full-fledged lightning bolt. Otherwise, you just shoot up some smaller sparks. Maybe this is an item that does require attunement as well. And thank you to Liette. Liette dived for that submission. And you got Tesla's wand. Anyone else?
The perfect item for prodding a few bad people.
Indeed. And
I could really go for a trip to a spa right now, but in lieu of that, let's see if there's something restful or relaxing in that bag of yours.
There's about 3 of those in the bag, things that are restful or relaxing. There are a lot of things in the bag, so the odds aren't good, but I wish you the best of luck. Roll a D1000 for me. 655. Ooh.
Almost my lucky number.
All right. You reach into the bag, and you find within. Your hand passes over first a knife of some kind, which, as you have it, you start to feel just like really envious of Michael and like his pocket sphere, and you're about to steal it, and you're like, maybe I won't take whatever is making me feel this way. And then a horn that you see for a second, which again, not your thing. Othgarurt's not much of music. You instead grab out a pair of calipers, and Bartholomew speaks up. Oh, those aren't just any calipers. Those are the Excaliburs.
Oh no!
What a good name. This is an I'm spin my sword co here. What a great name. And he speaks up. You know, of course, are familiar with Excalibur, the legendary blade. Some of the extra ore was used to make these calipers, and it grants you It just grants you a +3 check to any task requiring intricate or precise detail, such as fixing a clockwork device, picking a lock, sewing a wound, or anything similar to that. If you can justify the use, you just get a +3 bonus, and it's a non-attunement item. So you've gotten Excaliburs. Use them as you see fit.
I will gladly add these to my tool set.
Anyone else?
I'm good, Bartholomew.
And now I believe that we will be right back with our second adventure of the evening. Everyone stay tuned, and I look forward to seeing you all again in a moment.